Flash drive, repair and data recovery. Seems like it was bent. Let's not put it under any more pressure and see how we can get it apart. Okay. There's my 4 solder points. Just to be absolutely certain, this side here is this side here. So it matches up like that. Smartest thing to do would be to run some solder points here. And here I have a fiberglass pin. I want to clean these contacts. You want to be able to push enough on there to get that to burnish the contacts. And we're going to do the same thing with these little guys here. And you can see it kind of buffs up the contacts. This one's bent, and not now. Preparation is 90% of the job. A little dab across the contacts. So we're going to go ahead and tin this. I'm using some leaded solder, and that's the Radio Shack solder, which I got a few months online. And let's bring you down a little bit so you get a better view. How's that? Yeah, the camera shakes. I want to fix that. And here we go. Let's heat up our pin. If I can stop shaking. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4. See how quickly, after all that cleaning and everything, I didn't have to fight it with a ton of heat. Clean my little solder pin. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect it for the moment. We're going to do the same thing here. That's okay, because you know what I'm going to do? I sure don't. I'm going to strip some wire. Stripped it down, cut it fresh, grabbed 4 pieces. This is getting complicated. Little flux. And just nip off the little top of the piece because it balled up. Same song, second verse. Another bath. Nice profile. So, for you to understand why I'm doing this, there were little pins that broke off of here because these were longer, and they broke off and stayed lodged on these solder points here, all 4 of them. Now the thing is, if I were to put that back together and try to bridge the gap, those little pieces of metal that broke off are so small that the attraction of the solder and the solder tip will draw it away when I pull away with the solder. So that's going to be an effort, and then if I'm just cutting my losses, because this way I'm more certain that I'm going to achieve connection, and it'll be a good connection. So there. I went ahead and looks good. And some more flux. And if I can do this without shaking, that's the key. One down. Some people say, well, you don't have to go through all that. Well, no, you don't. But just to know that it's right, to me, is everything in the world. I may not be 100% on how this should be done. So now, this is the positioning I'm dealing with. What I want to do is flip this over and flip this over. Line it up. Let's bring these up and out of the way. Flux. Heat. And solder. Looks right. Flux, heat, and solder. Alright, let's unplug, back up, and clean up. I see no problem with that. Alright, let's let me clean up a little bit, and we'll move over to the recovery station. Data recovery station, which is what it is. We'll plug it in, and if there isn't anything else wrong with it, it will work. So, I'll meet you later. So, let's experience this together. And, let's see here. Ooh, that's a good sign. And there's all the data. Okay, it works. So I'm going to collect the data right now. I'll be right back. I think I can show you this without causing a breach of security. And it's transferring over. It worked. I'll let that finish about 3.5 minutes. And I'll be back. Once I disconnect, well, we got issues. Okay. Yeah, well, I think I was lucky. There we go. Not dependable at all, especially in the state that it's in. And we'll burn off onto a disk. And burn processes is completed successfully. And of course, just for grins, I went ahead and put it all back together. I mean, she could still, you know, use it, but we've got the backup here. But cool, huh? I mean, each one, every time I get one in, it's a little bit different. So I'm going to start doing a few more of these on the repair and recovery. And I mean, the only reason is because they're so different. And there you go. I thank you. Please subscribe. It helps. And as always, I hope you learned something. I know I did. You dig?